Hello and welcome to the channel. My name is Peter, and this will be the ninth in the series of articles about the swimming rules. And in the previous article I suggested you have a think about where technical officials come from. Now the answer is you. That is the volunteers who help to run the club. More to the point, those who do accreditations for the official positions. And they don't come from anywhere else. There would not be an official anywhere who would not be a member of some local club. So if you have a look at a list of officials' positions, some of those can be taken independently. You can do, for example, you can get your accreditation for check starter just by itself. But once you get up to the technical positions, that is the inspectors of turns, the judges of strokes and the referees, these require accreditation for all the other positions as well. And the reason for that is that those technical positions, they can act as referee. And the referee, ultimately, according to the rule book, is responsible for the accuracy of the results. And that is why the referee must have control over all the other officials and be confident that they are all competent at their jobs. So don't show how little you know about it by saying to a technical official, no, that's your job. It's their job to make sure that everyone else is doing their job. I've just noted here that starters may also be considered technical officials in that they judge technique and their decisions can contribute towards disqualifications. I'm not quite sure how that is viewed officially. But what I want to point out is that accumulation of these accreditations takes time. I've never seen anyone become a referee in anything less than 4 years and go on to do anything very much of any significance. You've got to collect all your other accreditations before you can even begin those technical accreditations. The unfortunate thing is that now most swimmers don't spend that long in the sport. Many of them don't spend much longer than about 4 years. The most of them, they might do a whole swimming career from about age 6 to 16. That would be the most you can expect. And by the time their parents get into their stride and realise how it all works and get over thinking, oh, someone else will do it, they've only got a couple of years left. And so the number of people following up who are going to replace retiring technical officials is too few. And to illustrate that, I did hear of an event that was held in Brisbane region, a number of years ago now. They said there were 14 referees present, and of those, 12 no longer had swimmers participating. So they're not being replaced quickly enough, and the only way that we can address that is to hope, as in this case, that a substantial proportion of them stay on after their swimmers have quit the sport. So you can ask yourself, are the technical officials necessary? I will give some more thoughts about that subject in the next article. Now, to address the title of this article, which is A Little Trap in Butterfly. And to expand on that, I'll put the hat on. The rule states in part, and I quote, all forward movements of the arms must be over the water, and so on, unquote. You might not think that could get anyone into any trouble, but it does. Okay. As the swimmers are going along, novices who haven't really mastered their stroke yet can sometimes be seen trying to get a bit more propulsion and lift by taking a second grab at the water underwater. They'll do part of a stroke, well, they'll do most of a stroke, then they'll bring their arms forward under the water to take a second grab. Now that forward movement contravenes the rule. It's not over the water. That is a breaststroke movement, not butterfly. So that is disqualifiable. So you'll see novices sometimes going along like that. The coaches just have to try to make sure that they do a complete stroke and then recover over the top. Now the implications after starts and during the push-off after a turn are the same. If you dive too deep or you push off too deep, in butterfly what you can do is any number of streamline butterfly kicks to get yourself to the surface. Don't use it in breaststroke, that'll be disqualified. In butterfly you can, any number of butterfly kicks to get yourself to the surface. But only do your first pull when you are certain that you'll be up on the surface in time to do your recovery stroke. You can't bring your arms forward underneath the water while you're making your way upwards. You've got to be very careful about that, so just stay streamlined, keep kicking until you know that you don't do your first stroke until you know that you're going to be able to recover over the surface. So that's dive after the start and push off after the turn. Now, the third one is for the touches at the end of a length before a turn or at the finish. Very often you'll find that you are more than a full stroke out from the wall or less than a full stroke out from the wall. If you've done part of a stroke to get yourself closer to the wall, pushing your hands underneath the water to touch the wall is, like I said before, that's breaststroke, that's not butterfly. If you've done part of a stroke, what you have to do to touch the wall then is get your hands out over the top of the water and bring them over the top to touch the wall. Now that's pretty clumsy. And remember that this applies both at the end of the length before a turn and the touch at the finish. Now, with the coach's hat on, here's the other thing that you can do, which is quite legal and is better. Stay streamlined, do 1 or 2 butterfly kicks, and your hands will touch the wall by then. Do not use this in breaststroke. The breaststroke rule states the stroke cycle is 1 pull followed by 1 kick. But you can do it in butterfly. You could kick a whole length like this if you wanted to. So what you do is you get to within a stroke from the wall, stay streamlined, 1 or 2 streamlined kicks and your hands will touch the wall. That's probably the better way to touch the wall at the end of a length before a turn or at the finish. Now, as I've written here, examples of butterfly done really well are very rare. Now, the causes of these deficiencies and the ways to correct them take much more space than is available here. It's disappointing, but that's a coaching matter that goes all the way back to learn to swim. It's not a subject of officiating. So I'm afraid, as the officials, we walk up and down the sides of the pool just groaning, watching all the floundering that goes on, which is really unnecessary, but you'll have to wait to see my big article about butterfly swimming, which is aimed at the coaching side of it more than officiating. and it's going to take a lot of time. When it's done, I'll put a link to it in the description, but it won't be there just yet. So thanks for watching everyone, and as usual, see you on the next one.